times get rough? Who's gonna talk to me on the phone when the sun goes up? Who's gonna take your place? There ain't nobody there. Oh, baby, baby, we belong together.
Yeah.
What up, D?
NGB, yeah. NGB, yeah.
I wanna get right.
Let's go, bttv. I know we a day early. I gotta move tomorrow. Let's go. Make sure y'all share this live. Let's get it.
Always on my mind. I wanna spend this night. I wanna show you all the way I need you back.
That's what's up, my guy.
Always on my mind. I wanna spend this night. I wanna show you all the ways I can please you right. I wanna get baby, I don't wanna end this night. I just wanna please you. I really, really need you. I can see you really in my life. But what they think about you this time and rain when I think about the time. Don't worry, I'll be there. You know I'll always care for you. This love I have is rare. Nobody else is there but me, you. I wanna give up.
Let's go.
Endless, I wanna give up. It could be endless. I wanna give up.
I don't even know how to dance. I just be vibing. You hear me? I just do what I do. I make my own shit up. You hear me? Motherfucking told me I can't dance. You hear me? I just do me.
Get right in this night. Let's take a flight. In the car,
Let's get an attended Ronnie, man. Both of these songs dropping September 27th on my birthday. Make sure y'all tap in, man. We about to get in the motherfucking, we about to get in a higher motivation, man. Y'all know what we do every Friday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We got a little bit of an unorthodox adjustment today, but we still getting it in. Y'all know I gotta give y'all this blessing, this lesson. Can't let you miss it, man. We can't go a week without this. Let's go.
Would you walk with me, talk with me, stand tall with me, go do it all with me. Baby, you gon' call me when I'm lonely, put it on me, till I'm lonely. Would you walk with me, talk with me, stand tall with me, go do it all with me, baby.
Oh, okay. Happy birthday. My twin birthday then. That's what's up. I'm gonna make sure you let them know I said happy birthday.
I get qualities is honestly exactly where I wanna be.
I got something good for y'all tonight, man. I'm gonna let people tap in as they tap in. Y'all know how we do it, man. Let me grab my hat. Hold up.
Talk with me, stand tall with me, go do it all with me. Baby, you gon' call me when I'm lonely, put it on me, till I'm lonely. Would you walk with me, talk with me, stand tall with me, go do it all with me. Baby, you gon' call me.
Y'all might want to jump on right about now. It's about to get heavy. Let's go.
If I give you my time, would you mind if I give you my mind? I'm alright. When I'm with you, no lie. When I'm away, you're always on my mind. I cannot deny your love is so divine. You're so divine. Your love is
Good luck, baby. You already got this. You already know. You gonna turn it up.
I know that I can call your phone whenever I get lonely. I know that you gon' be there for me, you're mine, tenderoni. I know that I can call your phone whenever I get lonely. I know that you gon' be there for me, my tenderoni.
I don't dance DNA, I just boogie. Let me show you. It's easy.
Don't do it all, baby, you are coming. When I'm lonely, put it on me, my tenderoni.
Back pop, bop, 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 bop. Yeah, yeah.
When I'm lonely, put it on me, my tenderoni. Would you walk with me, talk with me, stand tall with me, go through it all with me? Baby, you gon' call me when I'm lonely, put it on me, my tenderoni. Would you mind if I give you my time? Would you mind if I give you my mind? I'm alright when I'm with you, no lie. When I'm away, you always on my mind. I cannot deny your love is so divine. You're so damn fine. Your love, it blows my mind. You're my tenderoni. Yeah. But anyway, y'all know what it is, man. Let's go ahead. Let's get into this show, man. All right, no mic tonight. We don't need no microphone. I'm just talking. It's just me and my people tonight, all right? We ain't doing no mic or nothing. I'm packing up. I'm getting ready to move into a new home. And I'm always excited about new things, new changes and stuff. Whereas, anxiety does come up, when things have to be changed abruptly or life changes, you're making big changes, any of those things, sometimes you get anxiety about it, But I'm blessed. I'm thankful that God has made all things possible, and we good to go. All right. So listen, man, let's get into tonight's episode. Welcome back for more bttv. All right, Baby Talk TV. I'm your host, AC Golden, baby. And this tonight is episode 17. All right, we're getting along. We're moving on along, all right? So we're getting towards the end of the season. We're going to do something real special for y'all for the end of the season, all right? It's going to be a lot of money given. It's going to be a lot of great things to come, free features and things that I'm going to be giving out to my fans and people that love me, all right? Offering, hey, sweetheart, what's up, baby? I was waiting on you to jump on, all right? So listen, man. A lot of great things in store as always. We are working towards progression, always progression, right? And never regression, right? Never going backwards. We always moving forward. So in light of that, tonight's episode, we're going to be discussing our very own personal alignment. What's up, baby? Right? And how do we get it? And how do we stay with it? How do we how to not be knocked off of our course when attempting to maneuver through this life without so many disruptions, without becoming a disruption ourselves, right? So listen, let's talk about a few things. When we're talking about whether to or from self, things that you're doing to others or things that others are doing to you, whichever way it go. How do we get spiritually aligned? How do we stay that way? How do we stay on the course? And how do we stay blessed, right? How do we continue to get our blessings from God, right? Let's get in this spiritual alignment. Let's talk about it, all right? So look, a lot of us are all out of the wax. We all out of wax, right? We all out of wax from so many different things. Some of those things being our emotions, our past, our current decisions, okay? Those who put pressure on us in our lives, the drugs that we may have utilized, the soul ties from these encounters that we've had, etc., right? So how do we bring it back in? All right?
Now we finna talk about bringing this back home. How we get back where we need to be with God, all right? This is going to be a vital topic tonight. Make sure you all share this live. Make sure you stay tuned. You don't want to miss anything, all right? We got some great things to tap into. So how do we get back aligned? Prior to the spiritual alignment, right? Before we can even get to that, is the spirit being awakened. Now this, right? This enlightenment is defined as being spiritually aware of the universe and its direct metaphysical connection to one's own being and the connection that it has to all of life's forces. So this is when we get connected to the universe and we start realizing, man, there's a connection to, and everything in life has some sort of connection, right? There's these connectors, the way that things synchronize and come together for the greater good. So watch this. That's called bringing it in, when we begin to link the connectors together, all right? Realizing that everything in the universe ties in together somehow. Now, how can we be aware when we're experiencing a spiritual awakening? How do we know when we're being spiritually awakened? As a metaphor of a wave in an ocean. Think of a wave in an ocean. You are the wave, but you are also the ocean. And you need to have the ability to maintain both separate entities and remain connected all at the same time. So this takes a different level of spiritual evolvement, right? A different level of an evolved spirit. Someone who's moving on up there. What's up, cuz? What it do? All right, tap in with me, cuz. Share this live, man. We can ready to talk about spiritual alignment. It's about to get heavy, man. You don't want to miss it. So to embrace all these different parts of oneself and still remain centered and spiritually grounded is the key. To remain you and who you are, to remain in the midst of everything that we may face or encounter in our lives. Enlightenment derives from one real question, people, right? Rather than being the observationist in the situation, ask yourself, who is really doing the observing? And you're going to come to find that the answer is God. There's someone greater over you, right? There's someone greater controlling everything. All right? So this is the real question we should ask ourselves. In order to be spiritually awakened, one must lack perfection, right? But have an openness to spiritual growth. So you got to want to see, so you got to want to be woke, right? You got to have an interest in it at all. You know what I mean? And in doing so, you also have to have a lack of perfection, which is every human on earth. So really all it takes is the want, right, to grow spiritually. And that on top of any human being who is obviously a sinner will get you to a spiritual awakening, okay? So stop going through life on autopilot. This is very important. And not giving a thought to who you truly are as a person. A lot of us are missing this concept. And if you ask me, it's the most important concept of all. Finding and knowing yourself. Why get to know anybody else or go any further before you have established grounds for yourself? Before you know who you are, before you know what you want, before you set some standards for yourself in life, and so in a way to get it. To get the things that you want, right? So we can't go through life on autopilot and not giving a thought to who we truly are as people. We can't be afraid to feel our way through life. Some of them bumps don't feel good. I get it. Some of the things you've been through, they hurt bad. I get it. They cut like a knife. But it's necessary for you to feel this, right? Had you just went so fast that you missed the speed bump, you might not have got the lesson, and you probably had to go around 3 or 4 times before you did something reckless to the vehicle, which is you. Before you start to begin to realize, dang, maybe I should slow down. All right. So we can't be afraid to feel, right? What up, Willie? What it do? To experience life at all, right? Not every day will be smooth, but we made it through, and we made it through with a purpose. All right. So the first step of spiritual growth is going to be your awakeness, your awareness, and your enlightenment. Now, how do we know that it's spiritual growth occurring in our life? When we begin, to feel this sense of connection that I was talking about. What it do, bro? We doing higher motivation. Excuse me for stuttering Stanley tonight. But we're talking about spiritual alignment right now. Those of you just tapping in, please share the live. Don't go nowhere yet. Let's blend in. Let's get this message. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. All right. I know we generally do this, y'all, on Friday, 7 p.m. But I'm in the process of moving my last couple days in the house, so I had to do it a day early. So stick around. I appreciate y'all being here. I know you could be anywhere else in the world, and I'm truly grateful, okay? So, number one, when we begin to feel these connections. Number two is when we begin to let go of our attachments. Think of you as a pulse. You are the life of yourself. You are what keeps you going, right? Rather than the things that you have. They don't make you, rather than how you make you, all right? So it's not the things that you have acquired in life that make you who you are as a person. It's who you truly are as a person, all right? And so next, we got to talk about finding inner peace, right? Because that's next. When things don't go how we see it, right? This is the true test of character. We don't panic. That's not what we do. There's no anger, there's no frustration, there's no despair about the situation. You take it as a lesson and you keep on pushing. That's what that is, inner peace. When nothing can disrupt your peace, that's when you know you're there. All right? Increase your intuition. When something don't feel right, follow it. It's not. All your signs are usually there in life, okay? Now, next we got to talk about synchronicity. One single act in your life could trigger multiple chains of events that occur after that. So you got to be careful with one thing you do in life can trigger many things down the line. Could just be the start of something really horrible. You know, you tried that drug today and man, you didn't know it was going to open the door like that. And now you're stuck using this drug every day and seeking the drug. Beyond usage of the drug is when it gets so bad you can't do nothing without it and you got to go find it. You can't function without it. I've been there. I know what addiction is, people. And some of you all do too. Some of you got family members and things of that nature. We got to start encouraging good behavior. We got to do better amongst each other. If we truly love one another and we truly care for one another, then we would want to see the best for every individual that we say we love and care for. And that's just that. And in doing so, that means giving them the best advice that we can give them that is going to motivate a long life and not a short one. All right? All right, let's move on. Increasing intuition. Once again, the signs are always there. The synchronicity. One single act down the line is going to trigger many things. So you got to think about it today. Don't say, hey, man, I can find her with this. It ain't going to do nothing. You know what I mean? This don't mean nothing. This just a little something. That little something could turn into something real big that you can't even control. Once it's out of your hands, it's out of your hands. Then you got to go to God for that, right? Which we should go to God for all things, you know. But some things, they get so bad, we don't want to. Why should we wait till it gets there? Why we can't get the lesson, you know, when it's a blessing, to hear it, to you know what I mean, to see others that have gone through it and just take that from them and trust that what they telling us is right about that situation. All right. All right. Next. So again, feelings that your destiny is aligning. You begin to notice the patterns that God is laying out for you in life or revealing to you. Increase compassion. Now let's talk about compassion. Compassion is a step past empathy. My pastor was speaking on this last week. All right, increase compassion. The ability to feel what others are feeling or to try new ways based on the needs of others, right? It means to suffer with. So to empathize means, yes, I feel for you. I feel what you're feeling. But to have compassion for one means, let me help you figure this out, brother. That's a step further, right? All right, so my pastor, again, spoke on this last week. Compassion is a step past empathy. You not only feel what one feels, but you also are saying, how can I help this individual? Kindness, a sense of humility, a sense of humanity, mindfulness, all these things, right? And next, removing the fear of death in us. This is a big factor. A lot of us we can't live because we're so scared to die. Well, how you going to live if you focused on death? Removing the fear of death in us is very, very important. When our consciousness is seen as transcending a physical body, the loss of this body feels less tragic. All right. And seeing it as inevitable and part of process removes the fear of it. All right. And it allows us to have peace regarding it. All right. So listen, increased authenticity. That's another one. Self-worth and knowing who you truly are and setting standards for yourself. You're only going to start to do that when you start climbing up that spiritual alignment ladder. When you start seeking oneself and you saying, you know what, I want to get it right. That's when you're going to start thinking about one's authenticity, your worth. What others are doing to you, you're not going to allow because you don't do it to yourself. So you're going to set standards that are greater than you've ever set for yourself. And people can't break them, or they're just going to they're going to have to go on about their business, you know. Flourishing, a more consistent level of well-being. So once you start awakening with your spirit, your awakened repetitive mistakes will become fewer. All right, they will become few. So more of the mistakes that you make back then, you won't make them anymore. And they'll become fewer and fewer until they disappear, right? Meditate, go outdoors, laugh more. Laughter is the key to happiness, of course, happiness, but it helps you to live longer. Dancing, connecting with the universe, diverse people, practice being grateful. That's a big one, all right? We can get a whole lot further and a whole lot more out of life and the people in it if we show the grateful attitude towards the things that people have already done in our lives. All right. And lastly, slow down so you can feel the bumps, because you may not feel the impact until you do. And you don't want the impact to be the cause of you being slowed down. All right. It is the key to happiness. It is. All right. So now spiritual alignment. It brings us here to our main topic for the night. When we've trained our own minds to think God's thoughts, now we're getting into something deeper. Strong-spirited people who attain this by feeding on God's word and praying in the spirit rather than in the flesh. Devising our own spiritual formation plan. Now, what am I going to do about this? How am I going to get better in the spirit? Well, I need to devise a plan to utilize more prayer, more fasting, more solitude, more worship, more confessing, and more secrecy with God. All right? King David was considered a man after God's own heart. So in the book of Acts 13:22, Paul stood up to preach. Okay. I have found David, son of Jesse, a man after my own heart, and he will do everything I want him to do. David wasn't a perfect human, though. He was just like us. So we have the very same potential to achieve the goals that David did regarding the heart of God. We can too have the same heart that God has. We can too feel the way that our Father feels. We can too align ourselves with what our Father sees and our Father believes and what our Father feels. So we got a chance the same way King David did. Again, he wasn't a perfect man, but he had the heart of God. That's a big thing. So by changing first our mindset, the way we view the world, things, and the people in it, and not only that, but the way we view God. Because he is our union and not our utility, people. And I think that a lot of times we forget that. We have a union with God. He's not our utility. So it's not, Lord, how can I use you? But it's, Lord, how can I come together with you to make things better? That's what it is, all right? Moving on. God works in us. We work with him, all right? It's okay. It's no problem, all right? Joined as one. There's no separation between the Lord and his children. So God will utilize our own actions to reform or form our hearts. He will make us see the ways of ourselves and feel what it is that we've done to others. So you're going to feel bad about it when you begin to align with God. You're not going to be able to do the same things you once did to people and just say, fuck them. or forget about them, you're going to start to feel that. Now you're empathizing. And then the next step, you're going to begin to have compassion. And so you're going to say, no. What? It's not just that I feel what you feel now, my brother. What can I do to change this? All right? So that's what we're trying to do. So God will utilize our own actions to reform our own hearts. He will make us see the ways of ourselves and feel what we've done to others. But God will also use our hearts to form our actions. And what God puts on our hearts to do, we will do. It's inevitable. All right? So the real love involves correction. A lot of us get the term love misconstrued. It's not what we think it is. Thank you, baby. It's not what you can do for me. Give me. Love ain't that. That's not what love is. Love involves correction. The ones like you, love, the ones that I've truly known to love me have always corrected me when I was wrong. You know, and that is the true love. True love stands in correction of one another, all right? And God is love, and God has to correct us. That is how he shows his love for us. Through correction, we can perfect our ways or better our ways to stand with God, to be more righteous individuals, to live more righteous paths in life long. You know what I mean? To live out our true heart's desires. And not only that, but the greater will that God have it for us. All right? So one that loves won't stand by and watch you destroy yourself. Those that love you are going to correct you in your path. And they're not going to wait till you've destroyed yourself to say, hey, you should have did this. They're going to tell you before you do it if they love you. Yes, and we may not like it, but correction is needed. It's a part of growth. It is, babe. And as much as, like you said, as much as I don't like it at times, I have to accept it because I know you're telling me right. I know that these things are correct. And I know that these things are out of love and there to ensure my success and to better me in life. And so if a person can't accept that, then, you know, the truth ain't in them. All right? So, one, we got to connect with our Father. We got to learn to hear God's heart when it speaks to us. Listen to him in the times that we pray to him. I know, right? And our greatest challenge is the true intimacy that we need to have with God. Get closer. And once again, like I was speaking of earlier, bring it in. We got to bring it in. You know how they, in football, bring it in, guys. That's what we got to do with God. Same concept. Bring it on in. Come on. We got to huddle. We got to plan to get the spiritual reformation and plan designed in order to better ourselves and better our lives. All right. So every other relationship in our lives requires time invested. You're always talking to me about this, right? Every relationship in our lives requires time invested in order to be successful. And it's no different with God. If we want a relationship with God, we got to put the time in. We got to do the work. We can't expect to just have a flawless and amazing relationship where God just answers everything we ask him for and we don't listen to him. We're never obedient. We don't adhere to his word. We don't adhere to his voice. We don't love him. We don't show kindness. We don't ask what we can do for God. You know, it is that individual that is, it is the ungrateful heart that God really ain't listening for. And I don't mean to be, you know what I mean to anyone. But we got to get aligned if we want that with God. And it's not that God won't be there for you even if you aren't. It's just that if you come in closer, he can hear you a little better. It's too many distractions in our path. So many things that are so loud that we need a quiet little place to hear the voice of God, to align with the heart of God. We can't get the heart. We can't get the word. We can't hear what he's saying with all these people and things going on in our life. We got to remove the distractions. Because he physically is not here, it's so easy to forget that he's here, right? And so we got to continue to remind ourselves. Show ourselves God's face. Reveal that to ourselves so we stand in correction knowing that, hey, again, back to the beginning of this, you know, let's ask ourselves not from the observer position, but who's observing? Who's watching us? He's got his eye on us. So we gotta do better. It's imperative, right? All right, so once we're aligned spiritually, the posture of a new heart will help us to achieve great things and to open up many doors that we could never walk through before we were spiritually aligned. So once you're spiritually aligned, man, there's so many more doors that God is going to open for you in your life. You think you're doing something now. Imagine when you get a little closer to him, what he'll do for you. You may be halfway there and he's showing you the blessings because he wants you to get a taste of what it'll be like to just be one of God's children. And if you come all the way in, you can get all the glory. You can reap the benefits of God's harvest. And you'll be in it. You'll be a part of it. You'll benefit from it. All right? So yes, doors we couldn't walk through before, we'll be able to walk through. Sit at tables we couldn't be seated before. Right? So it's growth there. When we become spiritually aligned, there is no real separation between us and our God. All things align. It's just like the saying, we were made in God's image, right? Baby say he will show up and show out. He will do it. And every time he does it. And you can't tell a person what type of person they got to be to get that. You see what I'm saying? Like somebody looking from the outside can't look at you and tell you what your relationship is like with God. I don't look like nothing I've been through or I'm going through, or I might not even look like how God's blessing me because I might not show it to you prayers. Not the prayers, but the prayers. I might not want to reveal that to you. You know what I mean? So do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Romans 12:2. All right. So all things align. Heart, the same mind, emulation of our Father, and less emulation of the foolish people in the world. Their demonstration isn't for you. And you can't say that you're God's child if the actions that you display make you look like Satan. Well, you say your DNA is God's, but excuse me, let's call Maury because I think the father is the devil. I'm just saying, I think the devil birthed you, not God, because you look more like Satan based on how you're acting. And that's just the truth. We'll speak that truth. I'm glad I don't look like what I've been through. Yes, amen. Praise the Lord. You hear me? Because if we did, we'd be toe up from the flow up. Every last one of us, you hear me, got something that we've been through, you know. And so anyway, you can't just jump in with the next individual and expect the same results that they're getting in their life. Because you are you. And if we're made in God's image, we should be a reflection of him. If your reflection is more like that of Satan, then that's who you serve. And that's who your father is, and not God. All right. And again, if we're at a standstill and we aren't growing, then simply put, we're out of alignment. And that's just simply put. If we're not growing and we're in a place of stagnation, somewhere along the way, somewhere down the line, we're out of alignment, and we got to figure out how to bring it back in. All right. So in order to change your environment, you must first change yourself, because those things meant to upgrade and attract to you will. And those that aren't good for you will fall wayside. They're going to fall wayside. It's inevitable. All right. So true. When you start changing, everyone and everything that wishes to remain with you or in your circle has to adapt to accommodate your growth and processes, and not the other way around. It has to come up to where you at. You ain't got to go back down to where they at. You elevate. Let those things that are meant to come with you grow with you, and those that ain't, let them go. Because baby, trust me, that's a part of life too. Letting go. All right. And so don't wait on the environment to change or come to where you are. You must first change, and the rest is inevitable. Change your thoughts and expectations for people. Your mind is spiritual, but the brain is physical. Seeking homeostasis stasis, or the tendency to seek stabilization of oneself. The brain is going to try to stabilize itself by any means necessary. So right when you start moving up that spiritual scale, it becomes uncomfortable. And the brain don't like that. So it's going to do anything it can to fight against the way you're trying to go. Because all it knows is homeostasis. All it knows is I need to restabilize myself to what I know. And once you begin to change, it may be uncomfortable, but once you get there, then that becomes your comfortableness. And that's the beauty of it. It becomes easy to you. Because that's your new state. That's what you practice. That's what you obtain. All right. So, but if God tells us or encourages us to do more, our brain is going to fight every step of the way. The rebellious spirit inside of us. The brain has a proven resistance to change. Just ask anybody who's ever tried to go on a diet. Man, you conflicted like a mug, right? Breaking habits are never easy. But the law of replacement works wonders. Let me tell you about the law of replacement. You can break a bad habit by creating a new one, a good one, right? In this case, replacing a negative with a positive. If you're used to doing something bad, man, just find something good that you like to do and put it in replace of that and start doing that more, and that'll wing out the bad habit. All right. So when God invites you into this spiritual growth, don't be concerned with the fight that's going to occur, because it's going to occur. So Satan coming. But don't be concerned with the fight, because our God is going to always come out victorious. And that's what you need to know, spiritual people, people of God, wonderful, beautiful people. All right. That's what you got to know. God is victorious. And so if you have true faith in God, you can't lose. The only time you fail in the utilization of God is when you truly don't put 100% faith, and you truly don't believe, and you truly don't work that faith. Because, baby, when you work that faith, God work it, you know what I mean? I was going to make a song. But when you work that faith work for you. You hear me? And it come through every time. God going to come through every time. But if you show him that you doubt him at in any little, you know what I mean, capacity, you just messed it up. You just messed it all up. So you got to believe. And I know this. I am a true testament. I can tell y'all for a fact. This is the truth. Separate yourself from your past. This is important, y'all. I know a lot of us holding on to that past life. All the things we done years ago. The things that just, man, they just weigh so heavy. I get it. But you got to drop that bag to the wayside. You got to let it go. Separate yourself from your past. Why? Because if God hasn't condemned you, why should you? Who are you to condemn you if God ain't? And I know that sounds like, well, I'm me, but no. God is, we are God-sustained creatures, not self-sustained creatures. We don't sustain ourselves. We don't keep ourselves. We didn't create ourselves, you know. And so keep living and keep growing. Don't try to fix the circumstances. Just work on fixing your thoughts. Proverbs 23:7 says, for as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Show me your life, and I will show you your very own thoughts that led to where you are today. All right? Show me your life, and I can show you the thoughts that led up to that life. If we change our thoughts, we change our life. That's the beauty of it. It's as simple as a mind state change. But although the mind state change is not simple, it's as simple as a mind state change. So once you accomplish this goal, man, you off and running, all right? That was the message, the lesson, the blessing I had for tonight. Spiritual alignment. I know it wasn't many of you on. I know it's Thursday. I know people working. I know the schedule is funny. I know this is an unorthodox time for me to be coming on. Thank you, babe. I love you. And I appreciate you tuning in. And I appreciate you sticking through the entire message and, you know, talking to me and through me as well. And allowing God to utilize you in the spirit as well. And I thank God for you. And I thank God for all of my viewers out there. I thank God for those of you who did tap in for a moment, momentarily, whatever, jumped off. Those of you that will watch later, it's always appreciated. If you go back later, make sure you check out the message. There's always a real blessing in it, man. There's something special in it. If you missed it, rewind it. Make sure you share this live feed. I'm going to get into one track. I'm going to actually play Tenderoni back because it's dropping on my birthday, and it's one of my favorite songs right now. So we're going to get back into Tenderoni, and we're going to close out for tonight. I love y'all. It's bttv to the world blow, you dig? I'm your host, AC Golden Baby. This is episode 17, Spiritual Alignment. And the song you're about to hear is Tenderoni, dropping on all streaming platforms September 27th, which is my 34th birthday. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Let's get into it. Let's go. Baby say I can't dance. I just be groovy, you hear me? I don't even try to dance, I just boogie. I know, baby. You too. We get old together. I told you I wanted to get old with you. Shut up. You is shit. Show me what I gotta see. Get all the rest of me. I ain't never had a love like you. Never been addicted to a drug like you. Teach me how to really love like you. It's time I really get you right with you. I ain't never had a love like you. Never been addicted to a drug like you. Teach me how to really love like you. It's time I really get it right. What you want from me? Talk with me, stand tall with me, but do it all with me. Baby, you gon' call me when I'm lonely. What it on me, my tenderoni. What you want from me? Talk with me, stand tall with me, but do it all with me. Baby, you gon' call me when I'm lonely. What it on me, my tenderoni. Would you mind if I give you my time? Would you mind if I give you my mind? I'm alright. When I'm with you, no lie. When I'm away, you're always on my mind. I cannot deny your love is so divine. You're so different. Your love and I know that I can call your phone whenever I get lonely. I know that you gon' be there for me, oh my, Tenderoni. I know that I can call your phone whenever I get lonely. I know that you gon' be there for me. Hey man, it's bttv episode 17. I'm your host, AGP. We'll be back next week for more Baby Talk TV. I love y'all. Be blessed, man. You know the rest, man. Yo.